I'm sorry, I should have introduced myself. My name is Venk Shukla, and I'm the volunteering chief for TIE, which is, we have a title called president, but we are all volunteers here. I also want to invite and introduce our master of ceremony for today, Mr. Ram Reddy. He recently joined the board of directors after 6 years of service for to Thai community. A lot of you are familiar with the work that he did in creating this Thai 50 program of recognizing and honoring 50 outstanding companies throughout the world, and that has become, you see, a symbol of sort of trademark seal of approval, you see, for startups. So we are very happy that this time he joined the board to take on bigger responsibility. So I'll request him, you see, to take it from here.
Thanks, John. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So before I start, first of all, how was dinner today? You guys. So I'd like to thank our Honorable Secretary, Advisor to the Government of Andhra Pradesh, and the IT Secretary, Mr. Sridhar, first for hosting dinner for us today, and of course for their presence here to talk about all the opportunities. I would also like to recognize a dear friend and a very accomplished man who has actually made this all happen, Mr. Murli Chirala. He also has been kind enough to host the wine bar for us today. Murli, I'd love for you to please come on up. No, you should please come. Please come.
In fact, you have some role to play here, so why don't you be here?
No.
This wasn't fun. Okay.
So I know all of you gentlemen and ladies are very eager to find out about all the great opportunities that Andhra Pradesh has to offer. And I would like, without much ado, to pass on the mic and the clicker to Mr. Satyanarayana to first introduce himself and the great work they're doing here, on behalf of Andhra Pradesh, and say a few words and take over. And we're going to have questions and answers later on, and I promise you, these two gentlemen will answer all your questions, and you can follow on by email with them, so they're very tech, centric and, like no other state. So thank you.
Thank you. I think it's my pleasure to be here in the Valley after, of course, at frequent intervals. I've been coming here in different capacities, and starting from 99 possibly. And it's always as invigorating as ever and as inspiring as ever to come here and spend a few days. This time round, I think it's a different context altogether, where we have a greenfield state to be built almost from the scratch, that is Andhra Pradesh. And of course, we have a brownfield CM and a brownfield advisor, not greenfield, in the sense that both of us worked together as a team earlier in building Hyderabad as an IT destination. So, while initially we thought that this kind of a division created so many problems and challenges, but we, and especially the Chief Minister, keeps on telling that there is, behind every challenge, there is an opportunity, and we need to see the positive side and how to convert the challenge into an opportunity. That's what we're trying to do here in AP. And in the next few minutes, I would like to take you through some salient features of what is happening in Andhra Pradesh as it relates to IT and electronics. So may I have somebody help me with that? Yeah, thanks. So we are calling it as the Sunrise State, basically because of the huge opportunity that exists in a greenfield state. Everything needs to be rebuilt. For 10 years, we can stay together with Hyderabad and use those assets, a max of 10 years, but well before that, we need to create our own assets, whether they are physical assets or whether they are, digital assets. So that is the kind of huge opportunity that exists. The Sunrise State is what we are calling it. And I will talk about the vision and the kind of policies and the opportunities and the infrastructure available as of now, which is of course not pretty impressive. It cannot be very, very impressive at this point in time. But to start with, it is, Hyderabad, I knew Hyderabad in 95, 96, and when we were removing the first border to create the high-tech city. So it's, it's totally different world today. So we are seeing, the green spaces today in places like Vizag, Vijayawada, and so on. And 15 years from now, I think, if I'm still serving in some capacity or even as a citizen, probably I would like to go back and see, how it looks like. So this is the vision that we have for the next 6 years as of last year, but 5 years now. We have already created, the policies which is very much required, because we need to be clear as to what we want to do. That is what a policy says. And the industry also has to be clear as to what the priorities are of the government and how we would like to do it. So when the government came into power in June, so by July we got these policies out, and our effort is to implement the policies now going forward and create an ecosystem. We are looking at $2 billion of investment in IT by 2020 and $5 billion in electronics. And very interestingly, this 5,000 startup thing is a new ambition that we have created here. Because the next wave of development, if you want to have a quantum leap, and if you have to make a difference, you have to do something differently. Versus the IT services, products, etc. We want to go for innovation and create this startup environment in the state. I will explain a little more in detail in subsequent slides. So, it's quite, personally, I was on both sides, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm happy that Hyderabad has developed, and I'll be happier if it develops further. But statistically speaking, out of the $100 that comes out of IT in the combined state, only $3 comes from the Andhra Pradesh, $97 comes from Telangana. So the entire development has gone around Hyderabad, and that is the kind of 97% versus 3% is the question. So we have got certain targets, keeping all that in view for the new state, which we would like. We need to explore all the avenues. We need to seek the support of people like you, who can chip in with your own investments, your own contributions, your own ideas in making it happen. Now, these are the 3 policies that we have notified in June, July last year. The first one is the IT policy, which is probably the most progressive IT policies in the country today. And an electronics policy also, because manufacturing of electronics is important for the country's economy. And as secretary at the central government, that is the federal government, I had formulated this electronics policy at the time. In that context, I was here in 2013 along with Mr. Kapil Sibal. So we took that policy and then improved upon that in Andhra Pradesh, and so that it's more attractive for people to start manufacturing in Andhra Pradesh. I'll give a little more detail in subsequent slides. And then, last but not least, is the innovation policy, which is the first of its kind in the country, that a specific policy exists as to how do you create the ecosystem for innovation, how do you create those startup ecosystem. That is what we have already started doing, and I'll show the result of that in 2 months' time, 2 to 2.5 months' time, what happened in that space. So this is, while the policies are available on our website, which is there in the presentation on the last slide, we have soft copies available of all these documents on the table. We'll make it available. Those who are interested can pick a copy of that as you go out. But I'll give you the salient features of that. In the IT policy, we want to develop Vizag as the mega IT hub. Next, like Hyderabad, on the lines of Hyderabad. And for that, the Hyderabad, you're all aware that Hyderabad, the symbol of Hyderabad today is not Charminar, but high-tech city. So, in the like manner, we want to create a signature tower of 10 lakh square feet or 1 million square feet. So, currently the design stage is going on, and it will be on top of a hillock there, and probably 12 to 15 story high, so that it is visible from all over as a lighthouse and becomes the icon of Hyderabad for IT. So this is the first thing one of the first things we are doing there. We created a special agency for IT and electronics, so that about 20 professionals will be working on this aspect of IT and electronics, and it will be also headquartered at, already we appointed the CEO, and then it will be headquartered at Vizag. The other incentives are there in terms of fiscal, non-fiscal incentives, and we have special incentives for mega projects where the employment created or to be created in the next 5 years is over 5,000. So there is a capex subsidy, and in the initial 3 years the rent is rebated by 10 rupees a square foot or 16 rupees for 100 square feet. So roughly 50% of the rent is borne by the government initially, and the land comes for almost for free. In fact, when I was Secretary IT in the combined state, we had requested and promoted so many companies to come there, and whether it is Microsoft, Oracle, whether it is CA, whether TCS, Info, any name you mention, they are there in Hyderabad, and we facilitated their expansion, creating their own campus, which was a really very good win-win situation for them. In all such cases, the land was given free on this formula. Same formula. It was not there for the last 10 years. From 2004, this was scrapped, and we introduced this in the new policy. So, the prime land which is required for building a campus, it will be coming almost for free. Previously it was free, but now one has to pay 20% of the cost, so that but compared to the market rate, it's 80% cheaper. Only you have to pay 20%. That. So this is one very, very attractive thing for companies which would like to set up a campus in any place in Andhra Pradesh, especially Vizag, which is being developed as a mega IT hub. Now on the electronics policy, we have got all the incentives given by the Government of India, plus we are also chipping in with our own local taxes and other concessions on the state government side. We have topped it with state government incentives. Even here for mega projects with an capex of over $40 million, we have a customized package, meaning whatever is needed for that project to be viable is straight away sanctioned as a policy. That is the policy. There is no specific numbers to it. Whatever number works out for that project is the policy. So this is what we have. We don't have it in the Government of India, but we have to facilitate large projects too, because you need a scale in electronics, unlike exactly like in IT. So for enabling that large project to come, we have created this customization. So ultimately the key goal is to push it towards Make in India by 2020 as much as possible, so that it meets the domestic demand to a significant extent. And the third policy is the innovation policy, where we are looking at 5,000 startups by 2020. And current year, we are looking at 500 by December 15. Already the first 2 months, we have crossed 50 in Jan and February. Very interesting. All the local, colleges which have a lot of talent there. In Vizag, we started the first innovation tower in Vizag, and very soon it's going to be filled up, so to say. I'll show the photographs of that later, but it's going quite well. And very interesting new ideas are being generated in that campus. And we are in this year, in the next April, beyond April, we are going to create a state innovation fund of $16 million, which will go to help these those who are creating venture capital funds will participate to the extent of 15% in that from the state side. So de-risking it to that extent as far as the VCs are concerned. And we have, as far as these startups are concerned, it is free for them. Policy says that they just have to walk in with their idea. Nothing else is needed. So it is, I'll show the photographs. The space is free, the laptops are free, the servers are free, the bandwidth is free, mentoring is free, right? So he has to come with an idea, a team of 3-5 guys, and then they can get going tomorrow. So that is the ambience we have created there in Vizag. That's why 50 startups in 2 months is really very encouraged with that. So we are going to expand. Currently we have 100,000 SFT, but we are going to expand it to 1 million SFT by 2019 in different places of the city, of the state. So this is the innovation. And when we talk of the opportunities that exist, I have not listed everything. One single statement I can make is that it's a greenfield state, and that's enough for me to say. Everything needs to be built and solve opportunity. But having said that, let me give a bit of detail. I put it as on these 4 compartments here. The content, meaning the kind of services that are to be given using IT, is an opportunity. The connectivity that is needed for 13,500 villages of the state is an opportunity. And the compute power that is needed for the state and for the private sector is an opportunity. And last but not least is electronics, the huge demand for electronics that exists there. I'll spend a minute on each one of them and try to see, give you a glimpse of what we're doing. Right? Yeah, any message, Ram?
No.
Okay. So this is in the first few months after Mr. Chandrababu Naidu became the Chief Minister, some of the projects that got launched I have listed here. I would request someone to just go and this hyperlink of ETAL you see. This is from Government of India, national level project that we had done. We have of course repeated that in the AP side also. The site speaks for itself. Just can you shift it left or something? Otherwise we are missing some digits here. Scroll it on the right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the count, you know, of the number of e-transactions that happen. It is past midnight in India, but still if you wait for 3 to 5 seconds, this counter goes on. 2,500 servers are linked to web services from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and whatever transaction takes place, whether it is land related certificate, whether it is income tax return file, whether a new company is registered or a new something happens electronically, it's all captured thing. And then you can see state-wise also, because we have people from different states. Can you go to transaction analysis, transaction view, e-transaction view? Yeah. So it's very interesting, and then you can have state-wise also, state government projects, you can just see. Yeah. So we set up a bit of a competition to various states, yes? Yeah. Through this portal, so that there is a healthy competition that happens as between various states, and some surprising results you will see here. Yeah? Is it fetching it? Yeah. So the whole, no, just leave it. This is just to show the volume of transactions that is happening in real time. In real time, the moment a certificate is issued anywhere in the country, this counter goes up by 1, and so on. Yeah, just go out of this, please. Close this. Yeah. So the other, yeah, just close this. Go to the presentation, please. Yeah. Just go to the core and just, we'll spend a minute there. Sorry. So this is another example of the real time. Can you do something about the resolution, please? Yeah. Or scroll for the time being slightly. So this is about 80 different schemes of the government of Andhra Pradesh on one screen, which the Chief Minister or any member of the public, it's public domain, you can see it later also. 80 different schemes, what's happening on a real-time basis. That means the power situation, if you want to see here, you can see 8:20 a.m. in India now. So you can see 8:20 a.m. how is the power in various parts of the state. You can just see how much is produced till now and so on. So real-time management of the whole state on an iPad or an iPhone, so that it's visible, it's transparent to everyone. So what kind of, not only the power is definitely important from our, you can see here the deficit for the last several months is 0 each day. And likewise, you know, you can see the, just go to the home, please, home screen. Yeah. Home, here. Couple of things I will just show you, just show the kind of importance we are giving to IT here, health. You can track any pregnant woman or a child who needs nutrition, etc., down to the last detail. Can be seen in real time. Even, you know, like that, you know, the irrigation in various canals is measured through sensors, and then you can see exactly what kind of water is flowing in which village and which canal and so on. Everything in real time, which is nowhere else, you know, it's possible to have that. Okay, leave it there in the interest of time. So it is core.ap. In. Just go back. So these two examples I just wanted to show in real time. just to give a flavor of what direction we are going. Please close this, please. Yeah. And then our cabinet is paperless for the last 6 months. No paper in the cabinet. Very important, high-level decisions are taken, but no paper. Right? So it happens on iPad. You must have seen some pictures of that, but we created this in the month of September, and after September there is no paper. And then Hudud is very important thing we did. As Hudud was proceeding towards Vizag, Mr. Naidu was proceeding towards Vizag. We were working 24/7 on this portal, Hudud portal, so which had the entire satellite imagery, everything used there to monitor it real time. And the entire relief was captured in the matter of about 2 weeks. Each house damaged, each agricultural field damaged, extent of damage, everything is captured. And we put up this site in 24 hours. Just 24 hours as the cyclone was hitting us. So this is a very, very great relief measure, I think. I mean, I'm just trying to see how, show you how, if you have the mind, if you have the will, what kind of a positive use can be made of. How can you attack the adversity like a powerful cyclone like Hudud? Don't care if you use the technology properly. That's what we have done and shown. And one key thing that happens is, number of enthusiastic entrepreneurs, they design the products, and the typical scene is they just go round and round and they demonstrate it to several people and several departments which may be having a need for it, but there is no next step. Okay, the product is very good, sir, but wish you all the best, is what they say. So we said that that should not end up there. So we created this new procedure whereby every 3 months we are going to issue a notification from the government, whether you have a product, whether you have an idea which is useful to the government. You can go to the website and post it there. It will be evaluated every 3 months, and then we pick up those, and straight away we earmark certain funds every year for this purpose. And then after that we support the product. Initially you need the first starter, right? Any good product needs the first starter. That makes, a whole lot of difference to a startup or any other company. So to break it, otherwise, the red tape will stop. I mean, there is all the intention for me as an officer, or for Sridhar as an officer, I like the product so much. But for me to straight away shake hands with you and here is my order. This is a limitation, whether it is in US, whether it's elsewhere. So how do you cut that red tape? We came up with this idea of this notification. We issued it in December, and about 6 products came so far. And we're going to award work to them. So this is one way of encouraging and creating that ecosystem of trusting the product and absorbing technology quicker rather than tying it up in red tape. So that's one difference we want to. So some salient things I just wanted to mention, as a way forward for us, what we are doing and what direction we are thinking. Next is, this is a very interesting exercise we are doing, very daring exercise, I would say, which no one has attempted so far. That is as a government, no one has thought about it, no one has dreamed so big as this, anywhere in the world, believe me. So this is the enterprise architecture, which you people know very well in the Valley. Of course, I don't have to explain that. Imagining that the entire government with 40 departments and 150 agencies as a single enterprise, and design a system for the whole enterprise so that it is interoperable, it is citizen-centric, and it uses the latest technology. SMAC is inbuilt rather than retrofitted into the systems, right? It is born SMAC, right? like Bond Digital, it's Bond SMAC. How do you make it happen? So here is an opportunity of a greenfield state where you can do it. Because you have to anywhere do it, better do it the best way. So here we have all these components. Each is a major initiative by itself. We have a data center, we have the cloud, we have a fiber grid, we have, the core data, and so on and so forth. So that a unified architecture for the whole of government, which possibly is unthinkable at this point of time, the importance of doing this. But this is an opportunity, greenfield opportunity. You can't get this opportunity again if you let it go now. If you build 20 different things, silos, without any logic connecting them at this point of time, you can't retrofit that 3 years or 5 years down the line. That's why we have taken this opportunity. It's a huge, huge opportunity for, we are going to throw up sometime in the middle of this year about 20 packages which arise out of this. It will be in the hardware space, it will be in software space, mobile space, cloud space, SMAC space will be thrown up to this effort of ours. Next. I have just listed them here. A copy of this presentation will be on the CD pen drive that is left here. Next. I have to move it myself here. So this smart cities is one more initiative we are going forward with, which is going to throw up a lot of opportunities using the latest technologies, as you know. And I don't want to go into details. You all know what a smart city is. And currently we have two initiatives going. One with the US government support in Vizag, which we already signed up on 23rd of January with US government. And the second is in Vijayawada, another major city where the new capital is coming up. So here the concept of a golden mile we have taken in one of the main roads, Bandar Road. You take 1 mile rather than taking the whole of the city and then trying to do something great. First establish it across 1 mile. On either side, about 500 meters on either side. So that strip of land you try to put all your ideas and make a difference there, then automatically it will catch up elsewhere. So two initiatives on smart city side we are taking up currently. And this is a very, very interesting and important. When you talk of SMAC and other technologies, they just lose their meaning without connectivity, right? So I know there are challenges of connectivity. Even in the cities we have challenges of connectivity. But we need to leapfrog in this area in India. While mobile population is 900 million plus today, but very often the signal strength, there is a problem in certain pockets and so on. And connectivity itself is a problem in several of the rural areas. So to overcome all this, and given that it is, whatever I talked earlier about is meaningless without connectivity, right? So this is a project which we have taken up recently, and the union government or the government of India has made a mention of this in the budget that AP government is the lead, will be taken as a role model for other states in this particular project. Idea is to take fiber to the every village, 13,500 villages.
Wow.
Provide a connectivity of 10 Mbps for each household. Today, one cannot even imagine 2 Mbps in a city environment in India. So we have designed the system in such a manner that we are able to offer 10 to 20 Mbps to each household, assuming that at least 50% of the households will take this, right? The model is built, the sizing is done on that assumption. And for businesses, 1 to 10 Gbps is what is assumed in the model while sizing the network. And implementation by 2018 is what we are looking at. And AP is a forerunner in this in India, this particular project initiative. And we are targeting, its affordability is very important. So we are targeting a rate in the range of 300 rupees per 10 Mbps per month, which is pretty low, about $5 per month per 10 Mbps is what we're, because scale, economy of scale, when you're building such a big network, it's easily doable. So the entire economics of this is built, and it's a question of time before we start. We lay the first brick or dig the first kilometer for laying the fiber. So this is about 5,000 crores investment, mostly coming from Government of India. And we are creating a Tier 4 data center, greenfield again, in the new capital city, for which land acquisition of 30,000 crores has already been done, 30,000 acres has been done already, out of which we have sought for 10 acres for data center. This is about $20 million. And on the electronics, as I mentioned earlier, there is a huge gap between demand and supply. And these are the major top of the chart equipment, the electronic side for which demand exists today. And the incentive part I already explained earlier. And so these are three areas that IT, electronics, and innovation. And as a government, we are trying straining every nerve to see that we, number one, we do the right things, we do it at the right pace. That is what we are trying to do. And a quick glimpse of the infrastructure available. This is that startup village which I mentioned, which is the first floor out of 3 is already full in 2 months' time, and 50 plus startups are working out of that space. And next to it is the signature tower space for 20 acres of space on top of this lug is reserved for signature tower, which is going to be the future high-tech city for AP. And this is the layout we have opened up recently with 1 acres to 10 acres plots laid out in the adjoining hillock, which overlooks the sea, Bay of Bengal. Beautiful site, will not get anywhere else. So this is also being developed at this point of time. This is in Vijayawada, we have these readily usable towers, mega towers, and a layout next to that, which has been developed by L&T, InfoCity. So this is for those who would like to start business quickly. This is an attractive option. As of tomorrow, one can occupy that. And this is a layout for electronics, very close to Bangalore. For establishing the electronic unit, this layout has been prepared for that. Roughly about 1 to 2 acres each plot here. And it's 1 hour from the Bangalore International Airport, right on the National Highway there. There's one more option that is available. And this is for both IT and electronics. This is one of the best special economic zones in this country. We have the friend of the promoter here, I think, can identify yourself. Yes, Rao Cherkuri, who can probably speak about it. So it's probably one of the best economic zones with more than 100 units established already, and it's growing still. Number is still counting. So these are the immediate options that one can think of, either for electronics or for IT or for innovation in Andhra Pradesh. So that's what I have to say, and thank you very much for bearing with me on this time.
Wow, that was amazing. So I think some of you guys are thinking, when do I get on a flight out there? So it's a very eye-opening thing for you, for someone like me who thinks that I know everything about Andhra Pradesh. The kind of momentum you've shown in such a short period of time is very impressive. And I know several of you guys are entrepreneurs who have started companies, or actually running companies right now, and this unique opportunity. So what I wanted to just say is that the data cards that we have over here, Murali will pass it on, one for each, as you leave, or please just take. Dipti, can you make sure just please give one to everybody, because we may not have enough for everybody. And also, I'm pretty sure this is also on the website, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of you guys.
It's all there in the website as well.
Excellent. So I have what I would like really to do is open it up for questions, and whenever you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll bring mic runners will bring the mic over to you, and after you've asked your question, the mic runner will take the mic away and bring it back, so there are no follow-on string questions, please.
So,
Both the mics
one
are
of you,
here. Okay.
We're going to give one of the mics. Yeah.
Only two mics are there.
I'm going to.
Yeah, you can pass it on here.
yeah.
Okay.
Those are really very, very admirable goals. But I have two areas of caution for you. Number one, India has no indigenous electronics industry, zero. Semiconductors, equipment, etc. I would love, and I myself have tried to get that going. I started a company in India in 1990, and it didn't happen. The second one is your goals for broadband seem to be quite unrealistic. Here we are in Silicon Valley. I would submit that less than 1% of households have fiber to the building. I'd submit that less than 10% of commercial offices have fiber to the building. How are you going to fiber wire Andhra Pradesh when we can't even do it in Silicon Valley? So those are my two questions.
Right, excellent. Yeah. I think we'll poll a few questions and then I can respond at the end. I think that's, can we note down and so that there are three, one here and one there.
We'll make sure you get everybody gets a chance to ask a question. But, please return the mic to Dipti after you ask the question.
I'm a data scientist with Apple, and I see a lot of data every day going here and there, and company making policies around that data. And I'm very excited to see that you are capturing that data in real time. What are the plans to like? How do you want to use that data in a real time basis? Like, are you planning to build up some team of statisticians, modelers, or algorithm developers, or a group of data scientists who could just take that data and in real time help the government to take the policies? Storm was a pretty good example, like predicting in next 2 hours where it's going, and then informing that village that, hey guys, be on alert, or maybe get out your home, or let's say electricity generation where it's being wasted and all that. So I would love to see, right now I'm a full-time employee. Are there opportunities for people like me to set up that kind of system or department or practice where the data goes into the system and system predicts a future, or basically builds, what is impacting this, what is not impacting, what's working, what's not working. So I would love to hear your views on those kind of initiatives.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll take one more question and then afterwards second round we'll have. No?
Okay, yeah.
Can you
Please.
can you please articulate your question?
Very strange Q&A policy.
Yeah.
I've never heard before.
Oh, hi. I'm Sunil Ravipadi, and thanks for the presentation. I just wanted to add that I applaud the communication which was set up during Hathad in Vizag, because my parents are in Vizag, and I called about midnight, and someone answered to me and told me the status of what's going to happen in the area where my parents are. So I like the initiative Mr. Chandrababu Naidu and the team has taken at the time. So it's great to see all the development in terms of the next future for Andhra Pradesh. So my question is, we have a startup and we'd like to see, apart from the infrastructure and services, if the government is providing any kind of investment, like through banks, for raising either venture capital or different areas of investment in terms of selling the services in India and abroad as well. Yeah, we'll just address these three and then go for the next set of questions, right? Yeah. Let me first take up the fiber question related to fiber to the home. Yeah, it is a very, very high ambition when you say that even in Silicon Valley, there are households without internet
Just
connectivity.
ask. I bet you no one in this room has fiber to the home.
Yes. Okay. So it is. I will just give my own personal experience and most of Indians' experience there. 2000 or 1999, we had a similar situation where cell phones, in respect of cell phones, smartphones were not even thinkable in those days. So at that time, we had this vision. I was working with the Chief Minister, and he was talking to one of the topmost industrialists at that time. I don't want to mention the name. And the conversation was that every rickshaw puller in the country or the state should have a cell phone. That's the goal. It was costing 30 rupees a minute in those days. Using a cell. Now it is 30 paise per. After 15 years, it has come down to by 100 times. So it is a fact that every person, irrespective of economic status, has a cell phone today.
I've never seen anyone who doesn't have a cell phone in India.
India.
For the last 3 trips.
Yes.
And if someone knows, please find out. Maybe they just forgot.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'm just thanks for that.
Yeah.
So likewise, we need to think in that direction. We thought that it's absurd, how a rickshaw puller will have a cell phone. I was sitting there in that conversation. So it is unbelievable today that India, at least I am not saying 100% of the households, about 50% of the households will have access to this kind of a facility. And we are going to fast track it. We have designed the network, first cut version. We have worked out the economics of that. We have got the line of funding and so on. So everything is going positive way, and I don't believe why we should disbelieve. There are practical problems in implementation, I know, but when we have a strong political will, I think the chances of success are very high at this point in time. That's what I would say. While I take the caution with great respect that it deserves. The second one is, of course, electronics. It is I've been the Secretary of Electronics, designing that policy and trying to market it globally along with the then Minister, Mr. Sibal. The conditions are quite uncongenial in India. It needs a critical mass, it needs a kind of ecosystem to be developed for things to happen on the electronic side. It's difficult terrain, but we have to make a beginning. Otherwise, as I mentioned, the gap is which is not so big today, is going to really upset the whole of economy. We can't prevent the citizens and the businesses from using the electronics because they would not like to lose the efficiency coming out of that. You can't put an embargo because it will cost the exchequer in dollars. So it is going to impact the economy greatly if we don't create it ourselves. We have the capability, we have the human resources, and then we should be making a sincere effort in that direction. And already number of big units, are coming up under the Make in India slogan, and it's a question of time that you will see this happen. And data usage, absolutely, I do agree with the suggestion that merely creating the data, even in real time, like the one I have shown, is good but not good enough, right? You need to not, be happy with the knowing real-time data of what happened yesterday or last minute or last hour. You should be able to predict the future. Predictive analysis is very important. That's why in the enterprise architecture, we are going to put a data analytics focus in that. Currently, it is missing, like in most governments across the world, they don't have a special division for. But here is a technology which is available, right? I was telling in one of the contexts that, there are two types of innovation. You take a problem, try to find a solution. That is a typical method, problem solving method. The other is take a solution and find a problem for it. So typically data analytics is that. Today you have data, the solution that exists out there. Find problems in the government that benefit by analytics. Look for problems. I'm looking for problems. Right?
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
I want to support your.
Yeah. Sunil, in terms of investment, I already mentioned that in the next budget, which is commencing from April, we are going to provide for 100 crores, which will be seeding, which will be forming 15% of the support that will go for the startups. More details next year. Next financial year.
I think it's already 8:30 and we probably have a few more questions. Can I please see who have any questions? How many of you guys have questions? I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I would really request that you keep the question short, no opinions, just the question, and then our guests will answer them, and then we jump. Ravi, you're the first one to go.
IT policy, you talked about human resource development and talking about the curriculum development. Now, one of the newer IITs that happened about 6-7 years back was in Hyderabad. So, are there any plans to create one in Andhra Pradesh?
Yeah.
Observation or?
Question is, are you planning to open an IIT in Andhra Pradesh?
See that?
Yeah, after the division of the state, Government of India has sanctioned 11 institutions. So one is IIT, it is coming up at Tirupati.
Firstly, thank you for a very short presentation. That was really good. One thing I found missing was what are the business advantages of doing it in Vizag compared to Bangalore or Pune or Shanghai? I think you should articulate that in your website.
We're going forward, we'll do that, but in short, it is at this point of time, it is a greenfield where, in terms of finding the talent, we have the right talent. Most of the people who are working in Bangalore and Hyderabad and Bhubaneswar and Chennai and all, at least 30%, good 30-40% are educated from these institutions and come from these institutions, number one. So human capital is a very good advantage you have, number one. Number two, being a new state, greenfield state, I have shown you the subsidies, which works out to a cost advantage of about easily net we say about 30% is my hunch in terms of operational cost. More of the statistics we will put on the website, definitely with facts and figures and layouts. All that we'll put it on the website.
So I've got two short questions, hopefully. The first one is related to wireless as part of the connectivity. Are you guys really thinking about hybrid networks, not just fiber all the way, but fiber combined with some kind of wireless? The second one is a little bit more in terms of how the state generates revenue. Obviously, it's a very grand plan to develop that kind of money. Is there opportunity, or do you see areas where taxation and the way you collect revenues from the people itself, there's an opportunity to make the government a little bit better and more efficient?
Let me tell, because I'm handling this optical fiber network project. I'm a member of the national level committee, which is re-engineering this broadband concept that I mentioned there. So the idea is not necessarily, in fact, our gentleman who asked the question, it is not FTTH or FTTV or FTTC all the way. It is going to be a combination depending on the circumstances in a locality, in a village, in a town. So HFC is not ruled out. We want to use it in a big way. In fact, as I talk, there is a fast track implementation that is happening. I have shown only the track 2. The track 1 is use the existing footprint, follow the existing footprint. Today we have 85 lakh households out of 1.2 lakh households, 1.2 crore households, which means about 70% of the households have TV network reaching home. So why don't you take advantage of that in the interim before you build those big fibers and networks. So track 1 is already happening. Our Chief Minister has given a target of 3 months to take advantage of the existing footprints and provide the bandwidth to the extent it goes. Use it is the track 1. We are certainly exploring different options. The Wi-Fi option also is there in the last mile, different options, and even we are exploring the TV white space as an option, right? But current regulations don't allow that, but we are also trying to pilot out first, and then it's a very, very quick rollout is possible, cost-effective manner is possible, as you know. So 3-4 different options are being explored in the last mile. And taxation, yes, it's a session well taken. In the enterprise architecture, it is in the very first group of priority areas being tackled with the taxation.
Any other questions?
I think that's a great, first of all, thank you very much, Mr. Satyanarayana and Mr. Sundar.